I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up, sleepies!
This is the construct.
Wake up! Wake up!
It's our loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulations, anything we need. This is the world that you know.
It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
survive an atomic attack.
Since the World Trade Center bombing.
You're saying our government plans to commit a terrorist act against a domestic airline?
There you go. Studying the entire government as usual. Fact. A small faction.
For what possible gain?
The Cold War's over, John. But with no clear enemy to stockpile against, the arms market's flat. But bring down a fully loaded 727 into the middle of New York City, and you'll find a dozen tin-pot dictators all over the world just clamoring to take responsibility and begging to be smart-bombed.
Corner of Liberty and Washington. Lower Manhattan.
World Trade Center. I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
There's a method to their madness. There's really not much method to yours, because you're operating from a place of ignorance.
You had better wake up and understand that there are people who are guiding your life and you don't even know it.
World Trade Center bombing, remember?
You're telling me that you're going to fake some terrorist thing just to get some money out of Congress?
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Hennessy, I have no idea how to fake killing 4,000 people. So we're just going to have to do it for real. Oh, blame it on the Muslims, naturally.
Which you are taking, either consciously or subconsciously, into your mind.
Something terrible is about to enter our world, and this building is obviously the door.
Nothing can stop this thing. We've hit it with everything we've got.
Not everything, General. The bomb. The Nautilus has first strike capability and is not far offshore.
You scared me, Mansley. You want us to bomb ourselves? All units, stand down! Those aren't the Nautilus. Come in, Nautilus. This is Nautilus standing by. Launch the missile now!
We have a good detonation, 200 miles east of Washington.
Oh no.
It's a missile. When it comes down, everyone will die.
So this is what's similar about this movie with The Dark Knight Rises. The Iron Giant goes up, and he's going to sacrifice himself to stop the nuclear bomb. He even makes a reference to a DC Comics character. He's like, oh, my identity is going to be Superman. Just listen. So here we have this hero who is also viewed as a villain. He's no one, you know, some people trust him, some people don't. A lot like Batman. We're going to get further into the similarities with Batman, who is a DC Comics character. Superman and Batman are the main two. We have this robot saying he's Superman stopping a nuke, and everyone celebrates, and they think he's dead. And then we have our nice one-eye symbolism here. Wait, what is this? It's a statue. They build a statue to the one that saves them from the nuke. It's exactly what happens in The Dark Knight Rises. Verbatim. Everyone thinks Batman died to sacrifice, and he goes and you find out later that he's alive. And just like in this, at the very end, it shows that he's actually still alive. Now, what does that mean? What's the importance of these two movies showing some superhero-like person stopping the world from a nuclear world war? We know that the Bible says that they're going to make an image unto the beast and they're going to worship him. Does that necessarily mean they're going to build a statue? Maybe.
Fortunately, I was able to dispose of that bomb in the nick of time.
To understand the significance of the destruction of the Twin Towers, one must first understand the reality of the two different species growing together like twins. The parable of the wheat and the weeds in the book of Matthew illustrates the two different species growing together. The destruction of the Twin Towers was Satan's declaration that the twins were gone and that the two had become one, as evidenced by the building of the One World Trade Center. The One World Trade Center's architecture represented an upside-down seed joined together with the right-side-up seed, thus forming the new race in one new body, thus representing the forming of the completed human race in the form of a hive controlled by the spirit of Satan. As God himself had taken on human flesh in the form of Jesus Christ, Satan himself would also take on flesh in the second beast, Barack Obama. Through the destruction of the Twin Towers and the tearing down of what once existed, the building of the One World Trade Center would represent Satan's recreation of a temple in which he would sit as the king, the commingling of the serpent seed with the seed of the woman.
This is the manifesto of Mother Monster. And thus began the beginning of the new race, a race within the race of humanity, a race which bears no prejudice, no judgment, but boundless freedom. But on that same day, as the Eternal Mother hovered in the multiverse, another more terrifying birth took place, the birth of evil.
That is reportedly Lady Gaga inside that interesting show-like sculpture.
And what we've been doing with the egg and the rebirth, it's meant to signify an artistic statement of birthing a new race, a race within the race of humanity that bears no prejudice against anyone.
But I believe what was once one race is now two. One above and one below. Two distinct species that have evolved.
He's President Bush's ninth cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin and the ninth cousin of Brad Pitt. But we're only just getting started. President Lincoln was President Bush's 7th cousin 5 times removed, and Bush shared more than just a ballot with John Kerry. That's right, they're ninth cousins twice removed. There's also royalty in the Bush bloodline. Princess Diana was Bush's 11th cousin twice removed. He's also related to Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, even Pocahontas, and Vlad the Impaler. Trace the family tree far enough, and you get Madonna, Celine Dion, and Tom Hanks.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Lobo Jim hoping to drop an A-bomb here on the kamikaze.
say something to all my conspiracy-oriented friends on the right who think I'm planning to unleash some secret agenda. You're absolutely right.
Is anybody catching this? The iron mixed with the miry clay. Iron giant, Genesis 6.4. There would be giants on the earth in those days. Anyway, I'm trying to kind of just throw stuff out there for you. Don't open your eyes.
Jones has shot the dodgeball pundits and made it to tomorrow's round, where we'll separate the wheat from the chaff, the men from the boys, and the awkwardly feminine from the possible. Hello, everybody, and welcome to what you've all been waiting for, a David and Goliath story truer than the Bible itself. The championship dodgeball match here on ESPN 8.
So, what happens on a double fault? Oh, on any double fault, you go to a sudden death elimination. It's continuation rule 113D.
David and Goliath story truer than the Bible itself.
To a sudden death elimination. It's continuation rule 113D.
That is total bullcrap! ADA continuation rule 113D, sir! Sudden death! Must remain in the triangle at all times. This is it.
Out there. I feel their guns moving on the water, targeting us. Go ahead, Charles. Tell me I'm wrong.
Fire!
That's exactly what happened when Obama set up his super Congress. He had 13 Democrats, 13 Republicans, and he's at the top writing all these laws and all these executive orders. The National Defense Authorization Act, the National Defense Resource Preparedness Act. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? These are just what they're telling us they're passing. At the stroke of a pen, martial law is enacted and Christians are rounded up. And this all takes place, in my opinion, after the catching away, because the Christians that are awake and aware right now will be able to point this out. It'll be so devastating.
The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to give good tidings to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, to give sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord.
Amen. Amen.
Today, in your hearing, the scriptures are fulfilled.
Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. My mother was born in Kansas. My father was born in Kenya, and I was born, of course, in Hawaii. I have two words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. That looks like me. Look at those ears.
Hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Now, I've shown many different types of hieroglyphs of a lot of different evidence on it. This one here involves a lot of showing like what it looks like Obama on it. But the V here is supposed to be for the 5th age coming. Akhenaten, I could go into a lot of stories of him and how he was preparing things for the future. With the magics of Thoth, the fallen angel, and who is one of the gods of the dead of Egypt. Most of the Egyptian gods were the gods of the dead, the fallen angels. Now you can see what it looks like here. But he was a master of writings and pictures and everything. He taught all the different magics of things like this. You can see the harp for Prince William and the harp machine. Here's the devil like a clown working the levers like puppets. This little guy inside of what looks like Prince William is Death, with a keyhole ready to open with what looks like 3 woes. And this looks like Obama, with the devil inside of him and him wearing the mask. Right there, that's what that has going on. Matching a lot of the things we just keep showing. And for it to be the end of the age and, you know, the time for man to be resurrected from the dead, none of this should seem far-fetched. For many of us, we're talking about devils and spirits and eternal life and God and Jesus Christ and beings making whole worlds. So, there we go.
the discolored. They have the discolored darker areas on the tower, just like on this DNA marker. And they tore them down. And it's not an accident that 9/11 happened. It was divinely orchestrated by the Lord, allowing it to happen. But the enemy carried it out, and we know that it was the enemy because they broadcast their plans. It's a part of their religious practices, so to speak, the protocols of the learned elders of Lucifer, and they have to show everything.
The mayor's gonna dump him in the spring.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But he's a hero.
A war hero. This is peacetime.
You think this can last? There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. You and your friends better batten down the hatches. Because when it hits, you're all gonna wonder how you ever thought you could live so large and leave so little for the rest of us.
What does that mean?
Rise.
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
Ever since the Patriot Act, the executive office has had really tyrannical capabilities. I mean, this is a powerful image that someone posted on our This Is It Facebook page, where Obama has issued 139 executive orders in 3.5 years. All the other presidents from the past 110 years combined have issued 121. He's got all the czars, he's got all his executive orders. He's able to just do whatever he wants to do because he's got the green light. He is the last American president. Look at these images. And even the language that was used in the Patriot Act is exactly what was used to sell it after the Reichstag explosion. There's also a picture of the Dark Knight and its connection to the Reichstag burning, which was the false flag event that Hitler used, which enabled him to pass the Enabling Act, which was equivalent to our Patriot Act that Bush signed in 2001. And ever since then, it's been really a world without rules. And it's then anything that they want to do, they can do. Whatever wars they want to start, it doesn't matter. We don't question them anymore because it's all in the name of protecting the homeland.
Scene 24.
I know what you're doing, Jack. You are purposely tanking the network.
Good God, Lemon, what is it with you liberals and your conspiracy theories? I've got bad news for you this evening. Fine. You got me. I'm steering the Titanic into the iceberg.
Why? You trying to get fired?
I'm trying to get Hank to sell the network, and the only way to make him do that is to turn it into a money-losing embarrassment.
This explains everything. How long has this been going on? 7 years? 8?
6 weeks. I have an investor lined up who'll buy the network and keep me in charge. I can't tell you who it is, but his word is as good as the color consistency on one of his Easter eggs.
Adolf Paz? This is wrong, Jack.
You're right, Lemon. The clock is ticking for both of us, but if I pull this off, it's good for you, too. You've never worked at a properly managed company before. Think of it. Job stability, less stress, a commissary that has Taco Tuesdays again. After 7 years, you'll finally have a life.
And what if your plan doesn't work?
Of course, it's a risk, but sometimes your only choice is to blow everything up and build something better out of the rubble. Look at Sherman's March to the Sea. Or what my good friend Bane tried to do to Gotham. Join me, Lemon. Help me tank NBC.
Never. You're playing with people's lives here. Who do you think you are?
God, we're ready for you.
There is one thing I have realized from being God, is that the more you know, the more you realize you do not.
October 23rd and 24th, Comet Holmes unexpectedly brightened, and some people were referring to it as a sign of the Blue Kachina. The Blue Kachina, according to the Hopi legend, is a sign that appears in the sky ahead of the Red Kachina, the Red Kachina being the great purifier that comes at the end of the age.
This nuclear attack is coming, so you need to get right with Jesus Christ, because no amount of beans or ammunition or guns or anything is going to save you. You can have a bunker underground, even the governments have the bunkers underground, but God sees them. You can't hide from God. The wrath of the Lamb is inescapable. Revelation 6 talks about the kings and the mighty men hiding in the mountains of the earth. And the Hopi prophecy about the great white holy mountain in the center of America, which is the Denver Mountain. I think it's the Cheyenne Mountain. They say that they're going to come out of that mountain and start up a one world government. The Mayans say the same thing, that when in a moment of great distress, the new men of knowledge show up. And this is where the extraterrestrial thing comes into play.
Better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both? I humbly present the Jericho. To peace, to peace, to peace.
I'm seeing symbols.
We've kept much from you, Sam.
This isn't my war.
I fear it soon will be.
What you're about to see is top secret. Do not tell my mother.
Any of these look like the symbols you saw?
Where did you get these? Archaeologists found these unexplained markings in ancient ruins all over the world.
They gotta mean something, like a message or like a map.
Everything humans know of our planet, we were told, had been shared. You lied to us. You've made a grave mistake.
From now, they're gonna ask, where were you when they took over the planet?
You'll be fine, I promise.
It's over. I'm sorry, but it's over.
You may lose your faith in us, but never in yourselves. From here, the fight will be your own.
Was made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth.
So, y'all better vote for fucking Obama, okay? For better or for worse, alright? We have a black Muslim in the White House, okay? Now that is some shit.
Get the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. Kid. Yes. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. What word? Kid. Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Seal. What word? Seal. Yes, seal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Play. Yes, play. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without the mistake. Get ill. Get ready. Play. Yes, play. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Get ready. Kick. Yes, kick. Get ready. Seal. Yes. Open your book up to lesson 60 on page 150. Figures on the title of the story. Get ready. Go ahead, go. Yes, go ahead, go.
Yes, we can. And you say.
create the problem and they solve it. It's as simple as that. Create a problem and then have the solution. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching this. If you feel led to pass this around, please do. Wake people up. 9/11 was staged, and it was deeper than what people are selling from the InfoWars crowd and just the awareness movement. It's bigger than that. This is spiritual. They tore down the DNA markers. It wasn't just buildings. Yes, it cost thousands of lives, but it was more than that. It was them saying, hey, we did it. And they're going to blow up the Hoover Dam, and that's going to represent the birth of the new race, the race within a race. The tears are manifesting now, and soon they're going to be running the planet, and you're not going to want to be here. So make sure you got your ticket out of here, because the boat is leaving soon. The age of grace is about to slam shut. Get on board before it slams shut, because after that, it's going to be a lot more intense to get into the kingdom of God. But God has provided a safe exit, and that's going to be death. And you have to have the faith that as soon as you leave your body, you're going to be with Jesus. So that's going to be a blessing. You're going to want to get out of here, because it's about to get a lot worse than nukes.
That the core of the Earth will melt. That's the inside part of the orange, leaving the crust of our planet free to shift.
Here's what the Lord told me, Jonathan. The same as you were skydiving, falling out of the sky with a missile launching, at the same time, it will be the opposite when you get saved. The missiles will be coming and you'll be going up.
In 1958, Professor Charles Hapgood named it Earth crust displacement. Albert Einstein did support it.
Separate the wheat from the chaff.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. For this is the end. I've drowned and dreamt this moment, so overdue I owe them. Swept away, I'm stolen. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall. You'll never have my heart. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall. I'll face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall. I'll face it all together. Where you go, I go. What you see, I see. I know I'll never be me without the security. All your loving arms
alignment of the planets in our solar system that only happens every 640,000 years.
Oh, not again.